On this edition of the Muskie Daily, John Glenn High School sends some of its athletes off to the state golf tournament.
A new art show brings unique pieces to campus.
And COSAT coasts them to the new Concord Library.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on the Muskie Daily. I'm Andrew Dunlap.
And I'm Johnny Newhart. The new Concord recently hosted a Good Neighbor meeting for Muskingum students in order to teach students living off campus to be courteous to those who live nearby. New Concord Village Administrator Charlotte Colley explains how students must learn to accommodate for the residents of New Concord.
Even though they are a college student or university student, that they are living in the community of New Concord and that they have neighbors who may not have the typical university hours.
The Village Hall hopes to host Good Neighbor meetings each semester in order to maintain the well-being of New Concord and promote future good relations between students and residents of the village.
The new art exhibition on campus has plenty of interesting pieces. ORMEA News correspondent Marty Kurtz has more on what to expect when you walk in.
The Lulio Palmer Art Gallery began a brand new exhibition that combines 2D and 3D art aspects into a joint exhibit. Experiencing Art Around Ohio, Photography and Crafts by Aaron France and David Yoakum started on October 8th with a reception from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. Professor of Art and Director of the Lulio Palmer Art Gallery, Jan Sun, based the exhibit on what students wanted to see. Aaron France focused on the 3D elements of art, making sculptures out of crafts and items that she received from friends and family. David Yoakum geared more towards the 2D side of things with photography, expressing he takes great pride in taking photos and creating things with meaning. Both France and Yoakum enjoy what they do and think that inspiration is the key to art and offered their advice.
Follow what inspires you. I find that even though I'm not a full-time artist, I wasn't an art major, the one thing that I can do until all hours of the night is art. I never get tired doing art.
Be true to yourself. I mean, as long as you're doing something that you enjoy doing, you're not trying to take someone else's idea. And you use your own elements. I mean, you know, if you need something, go out and shoot it.
Both Yoakum and France are local artists, and the exhibit will continue to be open until later this month. At their opening reception, roughly 30 Muskingum students and members of the community attended. For Orbit Media News, I'm Marty Kurtz.
This Saturday morning at 8, Ohio University Zanesville's trails will be overrun with zombies. Leanne Bandermock, manager of Southeastern Ohio Symphony Orchestra, also known as CIOSO, has more details on the event.
Zombies can chase you. They will not touch you or tackle you or anything like that, but it's kind of that fear of flight, of seeing the zombies, getting a little bit scared when you're running.
You can get all of the information on CIOSO's Facebook page, and their first concert will be held in Brown Chapel on October 18th at 7 in the evening.
Kids all around a New Concord learn about all types of energy in an interesting way by building homemade roller coasters. ORMEA News correspondent Marty Kurtz has all the marbles about the event.
Last week, the Center of Science and Industry, or more commonly referred to as COSI, visited the New Concord branch of the Muskingum County Library. The Columbus-based organization has a traveling program that taught New Concord residents and children about the science behind roller coasters. There are two 45-minute presentations that consisted of 2 parts. The first section of the Crazy Coasters topic was a Q&A session on the forces behind roller coasters, while the second session was an interactive activity where participants were split into groups of 3 to 4 and built roller coasters that had a hill, a hoop, and had to be functional. The goal was to get a marble to go down the hill and through the hoop in one try. The materials used were foam pipes and tape. They were also allowed to use tables and chairs from the room to make the goal. Outreach educator Hannah Brooke directed the program and enjoys it, believing that's a fun way to introduce science to young kids.
My favorite part would be being able to interact with the kids. So getting kids excited about science is the highlight of my job. It's one of the things I absolutely love. But absolutely getting them excited, getting them to understand the science behind things that they might love. Like, for instance, we're talking about roller coasters. They have no idea pretty much what science is behind roller coasters, but we were able to talk about what forces impact them, and then therefore they could build a roller coaster and have a better understanding of it.
COSI travels all over, making stops in West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, and Michigan. Presentations they do can last from 10 minutes to 5 hours based on how long they have. Sometimes they also do programs for larger audiences, up to 500 kids total. But they also do smaller presentations like the one in New Concord. For Orbit Media News, I'm Marty Kurtz.
John Glenn High School golf team is going to the state championship. Their men's team qualified as a whole, and as for the woman, Lexi Bavenchik qualified as an individual. Bavenchik already has expectations of her performance.
I would love to make it in the top 10 because anywhere in the top 10 is, like, the top 5 is first team All-Ohio, and the next 5 is second team All-Ohio. And I think that being in that All-Ohio would just be a great way to cap off the year.
Bavenchik and the boys team tee off first round tomorrow and the second round on Saturday at the Ohio State University Scarlet Course out in Columbus. Up next on the Muskie Daily, a New Concord couple chart with child endangerment after locking a 6-year-old boy in the basement.
And the University of Akron students crash a Board of Trustees meeting.
Stay in orbit on the Muskie Daily.
We have the music. We have the cameras. We have the talent. Orbit Media, where the magic happens.
On the story. On the quad. On the scene. This is the Muskie Daily.
Authorities say a Central Ohio couple endangered a 6-year-old boy by locking him up most of the time in an unfinished basement. The boy's mother, 34-year-old Angel Abram, and her boyfriend, 38-year-old Joshua Bergen, appeared in court Wednesday in Newark, east of Columbus. Criminal complaints say the child was routinely locked in a basement room when he wasn't in school and was often beaten with a belt. They say he was forced to eat his meals and sleep there. Couples say the boy was treated this way for disciplinary reasons. Abram told a judge Wednesday that she loved her children and would never endanger them. Court records didn't list an attorney for the couple. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for October 22nd.
Police in Ohio say an officer fatally shot an armed man who they say had just robbed a convenience store and ignored their commands to drop his gun. A Columbus police statement says officers staking out the convenience store saw a man enter the store with a handgun. Police say the man held one employee at gunpoint and demanded cash before leaving the store early Thursday morning. The statement says the suspect failed to obey commands to drop his weapon, and one officer fired multiple shots, striking the man. The robbery suspect was pronounced dead at a hospital. Detectives say they believe the suspect was responsible for robberies at the same store over 2 nights. Police were withholding the man's name until the family can be notified.
Officials say a group of about 100 concerned individuals crashed a University of Akron Board of Trustees meeting to protest the university's embattled administration. The Akron Beacon Journal reports faculty members, students, retirees, and alumni descended upon the Northeast Ohio Schools Student Union building Wednesday to collectively voice their displeasure. President Scott Scaraboe was more than maligned since the school's May rebranding as Ohio's Polytechnic University and the announcement of $40 million worth of cuts in July. The UA board does not allow comments from the audience during its meetings, but the protesters interrupted the gathering several times to pose questions to the board. Officials say a few people needed to be removed from the room. A separate demonstration is planned for Scaraboe's State of the University speech next Tuesday.
We're going to take a quick break here on the Muskie Daily, but when we return, John here will have your weather update.
Later, we'll see how the soccer team's doing in competition.
This is Will Mullins, and I want to encourage you to watch Chapel on Orbit TV Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Thanks.
Find out what decisions are being made at Student Senate that could affect your campus organization by tuning into Orbit TV on Tuesdays at 11 in the evening, and again on Wednesday through Sunday at 10 in the morning and 6 and 11 in the evening.
Welcome back to the Muskie Daily. I'm Johnny Newhart. Tonight we'll bring a chance of showers with a low of 41 degrees. Tomorrow will be partly sunny with a high of 59. Tomorrow night will be mostly cloudy with a low of 35. Now a look at your extended forecast, and after the break I'll be back with your Muskie Sports Update. The women's soccer team defeated their rival Marietta this past Wednesday 1-0, ending a 7-game losing streak. Miranda Bishop was able to place a goal past Pioneer keeper in the 51st minute, coming off of an offset by Stephanie Zawicki. From there, the Muskies were able to fend off any type of counterattack and hang on to the win. The girls achieved their first shutout of the season with this game. With the win, they now stand 2-10-1 on the season, with their next game in Otterbein tomorrow night in another OAC contest. The men's team didn't have the same type of good fortune against Marietta last night, as they fell 3-0 to the Pioneers. Defense had a difficult time keeping Marietta from getting their offense established, as 3 different players score a goal. Pioneers held 27-8 advantage on shots in the game with the loss. Muskies now stand 3-10 on the season. The boys are going back in action this Saturday as they take on Otterbein at McGonigal Stadium with a game time starting at 4. We're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere, because when we return, we'll be taking a look at the upcoming events on campus. Stay tuned to the Muskie Daily.
We have the music. We have the cameras. We have the talent. Orbit Media, where the magic happens.
On the story. On the quad. On the scene. This is the Muskie Daily.
Starting Monday, a communication class group will be handing out popcorn in the BOC every other Monday from 11 to 1 in exchange for donations. Donations will go to Save the Children.
Stag Club is hosting their annual Halloween party on Saturday, October 17th from 9 a.m. until 1 a.m. All students are welcome and should bring their legal state ID. This is a Halloween party, so students are encouraged to come in their costume. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's Muskie Daily. Be sure to tune in next week for more local news.
Also, make sure to pick up a copy of the Black and Magenta and listen to WMCO 90.7 to stay up to date on local news.
Have a great night in Concord.